Welcome to this exciting training where I want to teach you how to create a very compelling video ad, whether it's on YouTube video ads or Facebook video ads, doesn't matter. Let me in fact just share something really cool with you to get you all excited. Check this out. Here is an ad that we run a test on very early on. You'll see down here, there's two ads here. There's this one down here and this one up here. Now, something interesting about these two ads is that this top one, number one, was created using a very professional sort of a company to create that for us. It took us, about 2 weeks for that one and maybe $1,500 to create that video. The second video here, that was created within minutes and cost us, a few dollars. But the important thing I want you to look at here are the results. Look at this bottom one. Got 139 website clicks, and the top one only got 131 versus 39 at the top. Now, the only thing that was different here was the video. Nothing else changed here, and yet we got a 335%, so 335% increase in clicks, or more clicks than the other one, just by changing the video. And this video, as I'll show you, is extremely simple to create, but you got to know the right formula. So that's what I'll show you inside this video and how you can use it to create the most engaging and most effective video ads for your campaigns. So keep watching. All right, I'm really excited to be sharing this formula with you to help you create really compelling video ads for your video campaigns. As I said before, whether this is on Facebook video ads or YouTube video ads, it doesn't matter. This will work for either of the two. And of course, they'll work extremely well when you use them in conjunction with the Veeroll software. But you don't necessarily have to use this formula with the Veeroll software. You can use it for creating your own videos as well. But of course, with the Veeroll software, you can get it done so much easier, so much better, so much faster. So the formula that I'm talking about is the AIDCA formula. So let me quickly explain that to you, because everything else is going to hang around that. And then I'm going to show you how to create an effective video using that formula. So let me flick over to my screen over here again. So over here, if I bring up my little whiteboard, all right, so let's just clear that out. So the AIDC formula. So what we do with our videos is we basically have it something like this. If you could imagine, this is your timeline for your video. This is time over here. And we basically break our video into pretty much we make it about 40 seconds long, and we break it up into 8 pieces. So let me just quickly do that. And this is normally for YouTube. Sometimes we have it slightly different for Facebook. But what we have is we basically have it either 5 or 3 seconds for each of these slots. So if it's 40 seconds long, then it's 5 seconds for each of these slots. And then we apply the AIDCA formula. And it looks something like this. I think I might change the colors of my pens here to something like, let's choose a red color, shall we? Okay, so red, to write out this formula, AIDCA. Now, of course, these letters stand for something. A is for attention. I'll also abbreviate these. I is for interest. Interest or intrigue. The D is for desire. The C is for conviction. And the A is for action. So I'm running out of space a little bit there, but you get the drift here. And you'll see this will make a lot more sense as I go through this video. But basically, this is what we do. So at the beginning, we grab people's attention in the first few seconds. So sometimes it's 5 seconds, sometimes it's 3 seconds. Then we develop some interest or with some intrigue or some sort of mystery. The next 5 seconds, we develop the desire. And this is normally where we focus on something called the USP, which I'll touch on in a second. And then we have the C for conviction. And this is a very interesting one. And I'll go into a little bit more detail there, where you basically get people ready for the next stage, which is to take action. And that's all there is to it. But there's a little bit of other stuff behind this to make this work extremely well. And the thing I'm talking about here is something called actually, I'm not sure what exactly we should call it, but it's a sort of a canvas that you can use for coming up with this formula, with this script. That's going to be the end result of this work here that you can then turn into a very, very compelling video. So let me show you this canvas, because that's going to be very, very useful to you, and it's going to help us get to creating this script that's going to allow us to use this formula. So without this canvas and without the structure that I'm going to teach you, it's going to be really difficult for you to do this properly. And by the way, if you haven't yet, somewhere on this page there'll be a report that you can download that basically summarizes the stuff that I'm covering inside this video. So make sure you download that and print it out and read it. Maybe follow along if you want to. Maybe read it first before you watch this video. But make sure you download that, because that goes into some detail as well. But I'll be covering a lot more stuff inside this video that's really important for you to understand. All right, so flick back over to my screen here. Let's see. All right, so the next thing we want to do is look at that diagram. So let's have a look at it. So it's this one here. Not this one. All right, let me just get this diagram up. There we go. Let me clear this out. All right, so what you see in front of you here is what we just call fondly the Veeroll ad canvas. And it consists of 7 steps that you go through to be able to create, in the end, your video script. So the end goal here is to get this video script created. But before you can get there, you need to do a little bit of preparation. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So there's 7 steps, and I'll take you through all of them. The first step here is to basically identify your target audience. That's the very, very first and very most important step for you to do. You get this wrong, seriously, you get this first part wrong, then your script writing ability is going to just not work out very well at all. So it's very important to get this first part right, and I'll talk about that in a bit more detail in a second. The second thing is then to identify the actual problem that you're trying to solve, or the problem that you want to focus on for your video ad. Next, we're looking at the medium. This is really the place where your audience is hanging out, where they're searching either on YouTube or Facebook. You know, what are they searching for? What sort of pages do they visit? What sort of videos do they watch? Very important. We'll get into that in a bit more detail. The fourth one is over on this side here in the green, and that's your product, basically your solution. What solution are you offering for this particular campaign? Number 5 is your unique selling proposition, which is going to come in very, very handy for your script a bit later on. And then finally, where you're going to be sending people. And this is basically a funnel, you know, the destination, which page, which landing page you're going to be sending people. That's also very important for your script. And then finally, 7, this is where we start writing the video script. And, you know, there's that formula there. This really here, if I can just zoom in a bit here so I can show you guys. This formula here is essentially the AIDCA formula. So the first one there, number 1, says audience problem match. So this is really just where you grab their attention. 2 is I for interest, which is where you have a problem solution match, and I'll dig into that a bit more. USP is basically where you develop the desire, and the trigger is where we do the conviction, and then the CTA is your call to action. All right, so this is basically the structure that we're going to go through, and by the end of this, you will have such amazing knowledge to help you create these video ads, or the scripting behind them, that's going to make such a difference to your video ads. It's incredible once you start using this information, how big a difference it can make in the effectiveness of your video ads. All right, so back to the screen here. So let's just get back. All right, I've got a little app here that I use for doing this stuff. So I just got to zoom out and zoom in and out every now and then. All right, so getting rid of that stuff. All right, so the first thing is your target. And this is all important. You get this wrong, then nothing else matters. So basically, for your targeting, this is where you really want to get into the head of the ideal customer that you want to attract, the ideal person. And there's a lot of theory behind here. There's a wonderful book called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz that I really recommend you read. I actually link inside in the report that you can download on this page to that book, and really recommend you read that to help you improve your script writing ability and in general your business and marketing and advertising ability. It's an incredible book. But anyway, the first thing is to get this right, your target audience. And you really got to get into the shoes or into the mind of the people that you're targeting. You got to ask the questions like, what are the main frustrations in life, their main desires in life. And there's this, I guess you could use this theory of pain versus pleasure. You can either target a pain point or a pleasure point in your video ad. But you pick one, you don't do both. So for example, if you pick a pain point, a big pain point, the rest of your video ad will be focusing on that and how to overcome that pain. If you pick a pleasure point or a desire, then you're going to be creating an ad that focuses on that and helping solve that or fulfill that sort of a desire. So it's really important that you get really clear on that. And with this sort of a canvas, what you can do here is basically just start writing that out. In here, you can print out this canvas. I'll have the canvas will be in the document as well, in the appendix, and you can print this out and then just write on it, just scribble on it, or in the least, just have a notebook or a notepad or something on your computer where you write this out and just get really clear on your notes on who this target exactly is, because that's going to really help you just get into the right mindset to be able to write the rest of the script for your video. All right, so enough about that. The next thing is your problem. So not your problem, at least, the problem of your target audience. Number 2 here. So once again here, the more clarity you can get on this, the easier it's going to be for you to write your ad. And what I recommend is that you only focus on one problem or one desire, not more than one. You pick maybe the biggest one per campaign, and maybe you have more than one campaign, right? You have more than one ad, where you maybe for each ad you target a different pain point or a different desire. So, but only pick one per video ad. Don't try and do too much with this, and you'll see how all this works in a second, because you've got so little time to make this happen. So you can only really have time for one. So that's very important. For this problem or desire, what is the main problem or desire that you want to focus on? And once again, just scribble some notes there for the main problem or desire that you want to target. And that will give you tremendous clarity for stuff coming up later on. The next one here is number 3. You'll see here is, I'll just call it the medium, but it's really the place where your audience is hanging out and what they're doing and what they're searching for. So we're doing Facebook video ads and YouTube video ads, of course. So your target audience, we're assuming, is either going to be on YouTube or Facebook or both. They're probably going to be on both. But then going a step further, you're going to ask yourself, if they're on YouTube, what kind of videos are they watching? What kind of keywords are they typing into YouTube to find videos that they can watch to solve this problem or to fulfill this desire that they have that we identified in the previous step? So very important here, and similar for Facebook. What sort of pages are they visiting? Do they like on Facebook? And what videos do they watch on YouTube? Very important for you to get real clarity on these things. And once again, all of this is based on solving this problem point, or if it's a desire. I'll make sure I put desire in the document as well. I don't have it in here at the time of this recording, but it's either problem or desire that you can focus on here. And then when you start focusing on the medium or the place where people hang out, this is the sort of stuff they're looking for or that they subscribe to help them solve this pain point or this desire point over here. All right, my screen's getting messy, so let's get rid of some of the stuff. All right, so we've done the first 3 things here. So once we've done those first 3 things here already, so that all covers up the audience side of this diagram. The next thing is all to do with basically the destination. Where are you going to be sending people and what are they going to be getting out of this? So we've done a lot of work here now for the actual audience itself. Let's now look at the next few things. All right, so the first thing you want to talk about here or think about is getting really clear on your solution. What is your solution to this problem or this desire point over here? And so if this was a pain point, then your solution would be solving that pain point here. You write down, how does it solve? What is your solution to this pain point? If this was a desire, then here you'll talk about how you fulfill that desire. Does it make sense? I really hope so. I mean, because it follows a very logical process, but it's it might seem simple as we go through it, but you'll be surprised with how many people just totally get this wrong, and it's so important to get right. Okay, so that's all you do here, and the clearer you can be in terms of what your product actually does and how it solves the problem, the better. And the next thing is just as important. So moving on to step 5, your USP, your unique selling proposition. What makes your solution so unique? What makes it so special? What makes you different from everyone else, from all other kinds of solutions? And it might not just always be your other direct competitors that you want to set yourself apart from. It might be other, I guess, parallel industries that could be also solving the problem or desire for your target audience. So you got to get really clear here in terms of what makes you unique, what makes your problem or your solution or fulfillment unique compared to everyone else out there. And there's always going to be someone else out there with a solution, different or better than you, perhaps. So you've got to make sure that you get clear on what's unique about yours, because this is going to be really important when you create your script for your video ad. All right, so that's your USP. The next thing, number 6, is basically your funnel or this destination. Where are you going to be sending people? What are you going to do with this traffic? What do you want people to do when they watch your video ad towards the end with your call to action? Where do you want to send them? Do you want to send them to download a free report? Do you want to send them to go and watch a video? Do you want to send them somewhere to watch a video on YouTube or read a blog post? Do you want to sell a product? Get clear in this stage on what it is you want people to do, where you're going to be sending them, and write it down here. There's a lot of space here, but you don't need a lot of space there to write that down. But maybe you can just write a bit more detail about your page or what you want to have on that page to help you get people to take action on that. So once we've gone through all those things, you really are ready to start creating your actual script for your ad. And this is what this yellow column is all about. Now, I've written some stuff up here that I just want to go through again with you, and it relates very closely to our formula that I talked about at the beginning. So let me just wipe this out, and I'm going to zoom in here. You won't be able to see me zoom in, but it allows me to write a little bit easier for you guys. All right, so zooming in. So let's look at these 5 things here, and if it's a little bit small for you to see, have a look inside the report and you'll be able to see this easier there, or make this full screen so that you can see it. All right, so that first point there, number 1, let's just make sure I've got my pen selected here now. All right, so number 1, the audience problem match. So that relates to, A, for attention. So basically, the way that we get people's attention is where we match the audience that we're targeting. Remember, in step 1, we identified the people we want to target. We match those people very closely with the problem that they have, and we combine that into a very strong statement right at the beginning of the video. Okay? And you think about it. If you've done a good job with your targeting, so inside our Veeroll platform, we help you with targeting audiences extremely well, especially on YouTube, but of course on Facebook you can do it extremely well as well. If you've done a good job with your targeting, the next thing is just to basically give them a message where when they see it in those first few seconds, immediately they go, yes, this is for me, or this really resonates with me. I have to watch the rest of this video. And the way that we do this is we match this audience with a problem or desire that they have. And we turn it into a very strong statement right at the beginning of the video. And often it's a question. I'm going to show you an example in a second so that it becomes crystal clear for you. Right, so that's the first thing. So the first one there, audience problem match, is all about getting their attention. The second one, so that's A for attention. Okay. And we use this audience problem match thing at first there. The second point here is the problem solution match. So this is basically where we do the I for intrigue. Intrigue or interest. Interest or intrigue, either of those two. Or you can use interest to intrigue your viewer. Now, very important here, you want to basically at this stage hint towards the solution of your product, or hint towards something that is pretty awesome. The whole point of this second part of this structure or this formula is to basically get people to want to watch the next part of the video. So you've already grabbed their attention with your first statement. The next thing is to get them intrigued or interested. So it's often about opening up a loop and getting them thinking, hey, I've got to watch this to be able to close the loop in the video. And you can, the example here is like television series, programs, like Lost, or what's this? I can't remember the name now. Battlestar Galactica, or one of these TV series that are so addictive. What they do is they always open up loops right at the beginning of the episode, and then they close it somewhat inside the episode, but then they open up more loops inside the episode, and then they leave people on a cliffhanger. They open up another loop. So it works extremely well for getting people engaged and wanting to watch your content. So there's a nice little tip here. So that's what you do at the second stage, where you build intrigue and where you basically start matching up the problem with your solution. And so number 3 is where you can do your unique selling proposition. And this is really where you just in normal marketing, this is where you develop desire. And normally what you do if you're doing like a proper big sales video or a sales page is you'd list out all the different benefits of your product or your solution, that the emotional benefits for your target audience as they're using your product. Now, with these video ads, you don't have the luxury of time. So you can only basically select one main desire point. And the one and the best one that you can fixate on and focus on is your unique selling proposition for your product or service. So that's what you do here at this stage. Unique selling proposition, you want to develop the desire here, but instead of focusing on a whole bunch of desires, you just pick one, which is the unique selling proposition. So number 4 here is C for conviction. C, conviction. Right, so C for conviction, and I just need to zoom in a little bit more again. Sorry, you won't see this on my screen. All right, so there we go. C is for conviction, and so this is a very interesting one. In the report, I actually go into a lot more detail with all the different triggers that you can use. There's, for example, the scarcity trigger that works extremely well, where you limit something in time. It's a limited time offer, for example, that you're offering through your video ad. Or it could be anything that's limited in number. Maybe you've only got a limited number of units left that you can sell, or a limited number of hours if you're selling a service, where it's a per hour based sort of a thing. So very important here for the conviction stage, or this trigger, is to use one of those triggers. So there's scarcity, social proof also works really well. And this is really just where you want to show your audience that there's other people around the world that's using your product and approving of it. So that's what social proof does. And I'll show you a really good example of that in a second. Then there's authority, and this is where you basically get other experts to endorse your product or service. And you can do this very quickly, and often in the in like medicine ads or something like that. You'd have someone with a medical coat on, and looks like a doctor, and maybe with glasses. And they might not even be a doctor, but I mean they use this sort of imagery in their ads to give this air of authenticity. But of course, if you can get some real endorsements. I'm sorry, I'm certainly not saying you should try and fake this. Absolutely not. This has to be based on truth. There's no other way. If you don't do that, then you will get caught out, and it will backfire extremely negatively on you. So that's just a really important note. So it has to be based on truth. You can't fake this stuff. So with authority stuff, it has to be something that where a real expert or authority has endorsed your product, and then you talk about that or you show that at this part of your video. So there's a few other ones as well that you could use, but those three are the strongest, scarcity, social proof, and authority. When you can build that into the conviction stage of your video, very, very powerful. And, think about it. All you want to do here at this stage is get people ready to take action. You're preparing them already for the next stage, which is to take action. So let's look at that now, the next stage, which is, A for action. And this is just what we have here at number 5, the CTA, or the call to action. Now, this is the simplest part of a video, and this is where the other part, let me just show you that again. So this part here, let me see. So this part here, number 6, where we talked about the destination. So this is where the action part comes in. And, so you have to be clear on where you're going to be sending people and what you want them to do. And that's why it's so important to have that destination thing sorted out, before you create your ad and knowing exactly where you're going to send people. And what you want to do here is tell people, either through text or through your voice or however you're going to do it, or through imagery or animations or whatever, exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to go to a website? Do you want them to click on a button? Do you want them to click on a link? What is it that you want them to do? And on YouTube, for example, there are a bunch of different calls to actions. There are the cards, that where you can click on the little eye in the top corner over there. You've got the call to action where there's the advertiser's link in the bottom left of the video over there. You've got annotations. Perhaps you have an image of a button in your video, and you'll have an annotation over that, a clickable annotation. What else is there? There's also the call to action overlay that you can put on the bottom left side of your video as well. That one is, I'm not sure how long that one will last, but it's still there. The point is there's a bunch of different calls to action. On Facebook, you can, at the moment, there's like a call to action button you can put on the top right hand corner of your video, which is really cool. And of course, at the end of your video as well, there's a link that comes up for your call to action that you can tell people to click on. So whatever this call to action is that you have in your video, tell people to go and do that action, and then also tell them what they're going to get. If it's a report, you say something like, click here to get the report, or click here to get free access to the report, or click here to read this blog post now, or whatever it is. You got to tell them what they have to do, and give them, create some sort of expectation of what they're going to get when they click on that action, when they take that when they click on that link or whatever it is, and give them sort of an idea of what they're going to get when they take that action. Very, very important. So once you've got a real clarity on that, I mean, you can sort of start writing notes about all this, in this canvas, or if you're doing this in a document, you have some notes about this. You don't have to have a proper script just yet, but it's just some notes. And I'm sure you can see now, if you've gone through the steps of really figuring out your target audience, what problems they have or desires they have, where they're going and what they're searching for to try and solve that, then getting clear in your solution for that problem or the desire, what's unique about your solution, where you're going to be sending people. If you've got all those elements in place, and then you use this formula of AIDCA along with sort of this information here, then you can start writing your script. And it ends up being 5 lines. There's AIDCA, 5 lines, or 5 scenes, or 5 different parts of your video to be able to create this video ad. Now, of course, with Veeroll, we have a bunch of templates inside the platform that allows you to take advantage of this formula. And all you got to do is write 5 lines of text, hit a button, and the video gets created for you within a few minutes. So, but of course, you can do this yourself. You can see how you can create these videos yourself, even without the Veeroll software. But of course, with Veeroll, it makes it a lot easier and faster. So if you haven't got Veeroll yet, I encourage you to check it out. Sign up. There's often some really cool special offers. There might even be a special offer on this page. I'm not sure, as I'm recording this video, what will be on this page. Check it out. We have a money back guarantee as well. Like for 30 days, you can try it out and see if it's for you or not. And of course, we don't just do the videos, we do lots of other things as well, like targeting and campaign building and optimizing your campaigns. There's lots of really cool stuff inside the Veeroll platform. But that's not what this video is about. So that's the main formula in a nutshell. What I'd like to do now is show you a quick example and then take you through that step by step and dissect it so that you can see how this formula actually works in action. So what I'm going to do next is I'll stream a video of an ad that's performing really, really well. For this particular ad, I'm getting around a 51% conversion rate to one of our landing pages. Let me just show you the landing page. So the landing page for this, and the landing page is also important, of course. You know, you got to make sure you have a well converting landing page. Let me just get the right thing here. Okay, so if I go to splashio.com, this is the landing page that I'm using this ad for. So I'm sending people directly here, and people come here and then they opt in for this free report. So I'm getting like a 51% conversion rate on this, and this is with a warmer audience on Facebook. But you'll see, it's one of the templates we're using inside Veeroll, and it works really well. And the beautiful thing about this is that I can create these videos so quickly, and they work so well. But they work well because of not just how cool the video looks and stuff like that, but also how well you write the script. And this is why I created this video. So let me, without further ado, flick over to the actual video. I'm going to watch the video with you, and then we'll dissect it afterwards. So here we go. All right, so I hope you saw all the elements there of this video and how we use the AIDCA formula to be able to create this. So let me take you through this now and dissect it, and then we'll end this video. And make sure you read the report as well. It really will be very useful for you. So let's go through this and dissect it, and then we'll end this up. So let's go over here. So let's go back right to the beginning. So first things first. Target audience for this are people doing video editing themselves. So the do-it-yourself video editing world or people, right? So not necessarily professional video editing people, but people that create their own little videos for themselves, and they're frustrated with creating their own videos. It's a pain for them, and they're looking for an easy solution. So this is exactly where I start with this video. Right at the beginning, you'll see the first sentence here is struggling to make your videos look pro. So, I've targeted the pain point there. So these people, these do-it-yourself people, they can do an okay job, but it doesn't look professional, for example. So they're struggling to make it look professional. So immediately, when this target audience that I target on YouTube and Facebook, I know they're having this problem. So when they see this, immediately it grabs their attention. So I don't even have to be fancy here with other things exploding or whatever to grab their attention. All I have to do is hone in on their biggest pain point or their biggest desire, and then turn it into some sort of a statement or question right at the beginning of the video, as you can see with this one. So struggling to make your videos look pro. That's the first thing. So that's all about attention, grabbing people's attention. Then the next one, there's a new method that makes it easy. So this is a very, very simple way of building intrigue. So all I say here is there's a new method that makes it easy. So you can see here I'm building some sort of intrigue. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying there's a new method that makes this easy. Right, so I've grabbed their attention. So they're already going, yes, I'm struggling to make professional videos. And then I hit them, I say, guess what? It doesn't have to be hard. There's an easy way of doing this. And they go, oh, really? I thought it's difficult. So it creates some sort of intrigue. All right, so that's the second stage, or the the interest part of the formula. And then D is for desire. Now this is an interesting one. There's many different ways of doing this. In this particular case, I just decided to focus in on the free part of this. There's a free report that shows you exactly how, but I could also have maybe focused on the unique selling proposition of, if I was selling a service, for example. In this case, I decided to just say, hey, here's a free thing here that shows you exactly how. And in a way, that's a benefit. That's a nice, unique benefit from what we offer as well, because perhaps they can't find it anywhere else on the net. Okay, well, or that's maybe their perception, but that's a bit more of a tricky one. Sometimes you got to play around a bit with different parts here to get that right. Next part is a simple one here, and all I did here is I wrote down the number of people who've already tried it. So we've had close to 80,000 people have already downloaded that report and tried this Splashio method that I'm talking about. So what I used there is social proof. I'm showing people, like, there's a ton of other people around the world who's already used this. So when people see that, they go, okay, so it must work. And if there's 80,000 people who've already tried it, then surely it must be a good thing. But I could have easily have used something else as well, like authority, where I could say something like used by the best video editors in the world, or recommended by some of the world's top video editors. Or if I had a good endorsement from a big company like, Adobe After Effects, for example, that would have been really good. Not that I do, but something like that would have been really good for creating a really good endorsement. If I was running a limited time offer, I would then talk about the limitness or the scarcity of that offer. So if there's a deadline for it, I would put the date in here. This offer is only available till this Friday, or this offer ends on June the 5th, or whatever the date is that you're working with here. So social proof, authority, or scarcity. Use those three. They're the most effective ones that you can use for this part. All right, so that's the conviction part. And then finally, there's just the action. So you'll see here, click link at the end for your free copy. So I tell people exactly here what I want them to do and what they're going to get. See that? So click link at the end. That's what I tell them to do. And what they're going to get is a free copy of the report. So, and then, part of the call to action, this is built into the template, of course, and you'll this is built into all our templates in Veeroll. There's this nice little call to action which shows them to click on the link at the end of the video. Now, depending on when you're watching this, we might have other templates as well that'll focus on the button here at the top right if it's on Facebook. If it's on YouTube, we already have the ones where you can click on the advertiser's link or have an annotation, and soon we'll have the cards call to actions as well. But the point here is that you're very specific about what you're asking people to do and where you want them to click and what they're going to get when they do take that action. All right, so let's quickly bring all this together and put it all into context. So I shared with you this canvas thing here. So, and the whole point of showing you this is to just simplify the whole process and to make you realize that, yes, there's this formula, but there's all this other stuff behind it as well. That's actually not such a big deal to think about, but when you go through these steps, it can make a huge difference to the effectiveness of your video ads. And the steps were simply this. First of all, get really clear on who you want to target. Then identify the problem or their desire really, really clearly. Then figure out what they're looking for on YouTube or Facebook, where they're hanging out. Then get really clear on your solution. Figure out what is unique about your solution. Make sure you're really clear on where you're going to be sending people and what they're going to get. And then, you start writing out your script. So when you use this formula, the AIDCA formula, and this little canvas that I showed you, your video scripts, and as a result, your video ads will become unstoppable. You will start creating video ads that are so good, and they'll get such good results. Like the comparison will be insane. Like that one I showed at the beginning with like 3 times better result, just because we spend a bit more time with the scripting and creating a video that is compelling. And this is really important. So that's it from me. Make sure you check out the rest of this page. There's a download for the report if you haven't downloaded it yet. there's also maybe a special offer on this page that you need to check out if it's there. If it's not, don't worry about it. We might have decided to remove it. But if it's there, make sure you check it out. And if you're not a member of Veeroll yet, please consider it strongly. It is an amazing tool to help you boost the effectiveness of your video ads. My name is Gideon Shelwick. I'm a co-founder of Veeroll. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you inside any of my future videos. Take care and bye-bye.